Hello everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I am here to review Bad Boys Ride or Die. Now this is the fourth movie in the iconic, my opinion, Bad Boy franchise. As many of you guys know, the Bad Boy movies have a special place in my heart, have a special place in my soul. These movies are the movies, as I said in my review of the original Bad Boys movies, these movies are the movies that really stoked my love for that genre, for the buddy cop genre. You got to understand, when I was growing up, Lethal Weapon had already come out, and my mom was hugely Lethal Weapon guy. But I wasn't really. I really liked the Lethal Weapon franchise, but I really wasn't. I don't know what to say. As on it as I was the Bad Boys franchise, because the Bad Boys franchise, you got to understand, had two actors who were on two shows that I had watched growing up, Martin and the Fresh Prince. So seeing these two characters come together to form this buddy cop duo, it was just a match made in heaven. And Martin Lawrence and Will Smith have a amazing chemistry together. They come off like best friends legitimately, even in real life. And their on-screen chemistry as Mike Larry and Marcus Burnett is just as potent as it's just as realistic as you imagine. It's the classic odd couple. And unlike other buddy cop movies, where typically it's two characters who didn't know each other before they became partners, it's like something that kind of just happened, you know, Lethal Weapon, for instance, like people from two different type of worlds coming together to form this odd couple. Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, instead of it coming off like an odd couple, like these two people coming together like Tango and Cash or like a Lethal Weapon, their partnership, even Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and things of that nature, even the other guys, another great buddy cop movie. All these buddy cop movies are two people from two different worlds or two different lives, like, you know, coming together to form this duo. Mike Larry and Marcus Burnett are childhood friends who became partners. They're an old married couple. You believe they have been bickering and going at each other and defending each other and getting each other out of situations for their entire lives. They're the bad boys. They've done this forever. And the dynamic between the two, Marcus being this family man who really just wants to get the job, who really just wants to get his job done, go home to his kids at the end of the day. He don't really want to do nothing crazy. He wants to do his job well, and he ain't afraid to get down, but he'd rather much not do anything. He'd rather just get the dude, get the bus, do whatever, and go to fuck home. That's all Marcus really wants to do. Whereas Will Smith, played Mike Larry, is Action Jackson. He wants to do the thing. He wants to get the girl. He wants to be cool while he's doing it. He wants to get all the bad guys. He wants to do the action shit, jumping on the cars and driving the fast car and the speed and the chase sequences. Like, he wants the action. He wants the big over the topness shit. That's what and Mike Larry makes, and Marcus obviously makes fun of him. Like, you're in this shit for the thrills. Like, I'm in it just to get a paycheck and get the fuck home. So it is their dynamic are always, and Mike being the playboy and Marcus being the family man, their dynamic is well established. But the movie franchise went away for a short bit, went away for a good long time, and the third movie was like, we didn't know if we would ever see it again. It felt like, because the second movie came out, the sequel came out in like 2003, something like that, and we didn't get another movie for another damn near 20 years until a couple years ago, maybe 2-3 years ago, we got Bad Boys for Life, and that movie was unbelievably great. I was worried about it. I thought it was going to be ass, and it ended up being even better than the originals. It ended up being better than 1 and 2. Because it played off of these characters being older. What happens when the action hero is older? And Bad Boys for Life dealt with Mike's mortality. Like, what happened? Like, you're not, like, that's the thing that happens. No matter how badass you are, no matter how badass of an action hero you are, you're gonna get older. And once you get older, you're not gonna be as invincible as you used to be. You're not gonna be able to move the way you used to be able to move. And Mike, it was like a whole thing, because it was like him not only realizing that you can't move the same way you used to move, you can't fight the same way you used to fight, people don't fear you the way they used to fear you. You know, you used to be this smooth playboy, you're still this smooth playboy, but you're older now. Like, your smoothness is different. You have to move different. You used to be the young smooth guy who could just go into the club and be the life of the party. You can't do that anymore. You're fucking 55, which doesn't mean you can't be smooth. It's just how you move has to change. The older you get, how you move has to change in general, and your life in general. And it was an interesting approach just to show these characters older and to show the toll that time has taken. And I also like the villain in that in Bad Boys for Life. So we get to Bad Boys Ride or Die, which was undeniably going to happen because Bad Boys for Life made a lot of money. It really kickstarted a lot. Now, granted, this movie kind of got pushed back because of the whole Will Smith smacking Chris Rock thing, and we weren't sure we were going to get this movie either after that. But we ended up getting it. And what we got is a movie that is also a hell of a fun time. Now, I don't quite think it's as good as Bad Boys for Life, because Bad Boys for Life, only because of two reasons. The unexpectedness of it and the fact, and I do think the story with Mike in that movie was a little bit stronger than the one in this one. But there's still a good story with everybody. This one actually sort of kind of focuses on Marcus and his mortality. It's funny, because it focuses on Marcus and his mortality, and Marcus realizing he can't move certain ways, and Marcus actually, like, it's the way they do it, because like I said at the beginning, Marcus is usually the one who doesn't want to get in any crazy shit. The only reason he does this shit is because he's hanging out with this fucking psychopath named Mike Lowrey. If he won't hang out with Mike, if he won't Mike partner, he wouldn't be involved in none of this crazy shit on his own. And now that he's getting in this movie, Bad Boys Ride or Die, now that he's getting older and he has like a stroke and he like dies for a split, Marcus dies for a second. He has like a heart attack or something, and once his life flashes before his eyes and he realizes, like, you know, he kind of like realizes like his time on Earth is finite and all this other shit. So then he starts kind of seeking the action in this movie. Mark is actually, because he's like, man, I spent so many times being scared, because, you know, you've seen the other movies. He's like, I spent so many times trying to stop you, being scared and all this other shit, that I've missed out on so much. Like, I'm getting older now, man. I might not have much time to do the shit that I should have done. So now he's out here wilding because he had a death situation. He almost died permanently. So now he wants to live life up, and he's just putting Mike in these precarious situations, at least for the first half of the movie. But the crux of the movie is Captain Howard Captain Howard, who died in the last movie, is being framed as a dirty cop who was working with the cartel members. So Mike and Marcus have to go off the grid a little bit to find out who's framing him. And the end result is as you've probably seen in the trailer, is they end up being pretty much wanted men and criminals on the run, because the cops now think that they might have some involvement with it. The bad guys pinned all this shit on them. Now, like, this is like the typical shit. Every hero thing. I don't care if it's superheroes. I don't care if it's a cop movie. I don't care what it is. Everything where hero gets enough sequels. I don't care if it's a book. I don't care if it's a comic. I don't care if it's a TV show. Eventually, it comes to the point where the bad guys stop coming directly at the hero, and the bad guys try to frame the hero. That always happens. So that's why I say this one's not as strong to me, because the whole heroes being framed and being wanted thing it's been done a lot. It's fun still in this movie, but it's been done a lot. You know what I mean? And I just saw it. You see it coming a mile away. So they're on the run, and they gotta make it out. You got Marcus dealing with his stuff, and meanwhile Mike is gotten married, and Mike is having panic attacks because in the past, and I like the Mike panic attack thing. I liked his story in this, because the idea is, in the past, the reason Mike was such a daredevil, so able to do all that crazy action shit, is because he really, I'm not gonna say he didn't care about his own life, but it's like only life he cared about was Marcus's, really. Like, that's it. Because he didn't have any you never saw any family. You didn't see any family. You didn't have any longtime girlfriends. He has a son now, but, you know, other than that, like, he didn't have he had nothing to really lose. But now that he has a wife, now that he has a son, now that, like, he's thinking about his mortality, now he has something to lose. And it's fucking with him, and it's making him unable to do what he usually can do, and so he has to overcome that. They also introduce characters we haven't seen before. They introduce Captain Howard's granddaughter and daughter. We never seen them before, but we see them here, so that's interesting as well. They expand the family a bit by showing them. There's a side story where Captain Howard's daughter wants to kill Mike's son for killing her father. So that's a story going on in the background. You got the story of Mike getting married and homegirl. I can't remember her name from not Ride or Die. Bad Boys for Life. But like, there's still a click between those two, if it's still a thing or not. Mike trying to reconnect with his son while they're on the run. And there's an amazing scene from Reggie. I know that sounds crazy, but Reggie has had the greatest arc I've ever seen in a franchise. Reggie went from being intimidated on his future wife's baby mama's doorstep by her father and uncle to a full-blown badass scene in this movie. I'm not gonna spoil how it goes down, but just put it this way. Reggie learned some shit when he was in the Marines. Put it like that. It was a very unexpected scene. It was a very badass scene. And it was like, yo, Reggie just keeps like, yo, Reggie, really? That was so fucking fun. It was so fucking cool. Character dynamics are just changing. Everything's changing. Some characters are together. Some characters aren't together that you thought would be together. The family expands. Like, I'm not sure what the fuck they're gonna do with the sequel though, if they make another one, because this movie just made over $200 million. The movie was made for $100 million, so you're taking $100 million, maybe $50 million in budget. So the movie's already in profit because it made 200. So, you know, this movie's probably gonna top off at like 400 mil, maybe. So the movie's a successful movie. It's a hit. So they're gonna make a sequel. The question is, I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do in the sequel. That's the only thing. I'm like, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna follow this up? You already did the Captain Howard card. Mike's married now. Like, I'm not sure how you follow this shit up. The only way you can follow it up is if you kill characters. Like, you would have to kill a character now, right? Like, there is no real big extension of these characters. They're older now. You done played the older card. I don't know which direction to go. But in this movie in particular, it still works. I give Bad Boys, Ride or Die, an 8.5. Fun-ass movie, great-ass old-school action. It'll have you pumped up by the end. Also, some great action sequences. Very funny stuff with Mike and Marcus. Obviously, the chemistry is fantastic. Adding more mythos, adding more characters, growing the franchise. Now, granted, they did try to make a show once. A spinoff show. It's called LA's Finest, and that failed. But maybe they might try again. Who knows? Maybe they might try again. Anyways, thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please comment below. What did you guys think of Bad Boys Ride or Die? Did you love it like I did, or did you not? Please comment below and let me know. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.